Chapter 174, The Devil Was Born. This chapter is updated by novels.pl. PHHHF, over 40 leopard-headed blood bats, who each possessed the strength of the completion of the Black Realm, blocked the way of the 12 heresy masters. Jiang Yuochen said to Ziqian, "Leave the Qigong secret mansion now and inform the deputy headmasters who are waiting outside. Ask them to come in to suppress the prisoners of the moon worship demonic sect and black market." Looking at Jiang Yuochen with great emotion, Ziqian took out the wings of wind and activated the carved inscriptions using the stimulation of her genuine qi. A huge pair of light wings grew on Ziqian's back and she fled into the distance. Although she also came from black market, she did not like those prisoners at all and, thus, she would notify those deputy headmasters outside without any hesitation. Still want to run away? Among the heresy prisoners, a vixen rushed out from the crowd and caught up with Ziqian using wide steps that were faster than Ziqian's wings of wind. At the moment, Huang Yanjun and Jiang Yuochen had killed 5 prisoners one after another. However, there were a lot of heresy prisoners who were all top martial arts masters. Hence Huang Yanjun and Jiang Yuochen were soon surrounded by them with no way to escape. "Jiang Yuochen, move closer to me." Huang Yanjun took out a half-meter-long black diagram. She unfolded the diagram, from which a black inscription of array suddenly came out and formed into an enormous array that covered the ground. Boom! The array rotated at a high speed and the spiritual chi in the air condensed into numerous sharp gale blades. PHHT. Those heresy prisoners screamed as they fell while another was sent out. Shortly after, more than 10 prisoners had to escape from the array because they had suffered severe blade traumas. The battle formation that Huang Yanjun displayed was very powerful. Under her control, all of the heresy prisoners were retreating over 30 meters away. Windy soul-breaking formation. Han Sanfu walked to the edge of the array and gazed at Huang Yanjun, who was in the middle of it, and said, "You deserve to be called the Princess of the Cayenne's Yue Commandery." With this array's protection, normal warriors who have reached the completion of the Earth Realm can do nothing to harm you in the short run. Do you want to experience the power of the windy soul-breaking formation? Asked Huang Yanjun indifferently with great pride. Standing by Huang Yanjun, Jiang Yuochen stared at the man who was standing on the edge of the array. His gut told him that the man seemed mighty and by no means an Earth Realm completion warrior. Han Sanfu sneered. He put his hands together and a crackling sound broke out from his body. Purple flashes of thunder and lightning gushed out from his body, shrouding him in the center. Suddenly, the heresy prisoners all revealed an expression of fear on their faces, and they ran away as quickly as they could. Centered on Han Sanfu's body, an area with a 10-meter radius was completely covered by thunder and bolts of lightning, turning into a huge thunderball. Spiritual ruin palm. A palm that he created directly split the Earth's surface into pieces with countless thunder and lightning coming down from his arm. A wide crack split open and spread toward the windy soul-breaking formation. When Jiang Yuochen heard the 3 words spiritual ruin palm, he had not yet realized what a big deal that was. The spiritual ruin palm, one of the 72 skills of the moon worship demonic sect, was classified as a martial technique of the inferior class at ghost level. Han Sanfu was able to practice to spiritual ruin palm, which meant that he definitely had a high status in moon worship demonic sect and had also obtained a superhuman talent. His strength must have been more powerful than that of a completion of the Earth Realm warrior. Jiang Yuochen surmised that Han Sanfu had only practiced the spiritual ruin palm to the beginner level, let alone to the small success. Yet, that was enough to handle the windy soul-breaking formation. As Han Sanfu wielded the spiritual ruin palm, Jiang Yuochen activated the wings of wind at once and flew away into the distance at 100 meters per second. Picking up Huang Yanjun by her slender waist with one arm. Boom! The windy soul-breaking formation was broken by the spiritual ruin palm and the ground became fragmented, collapsing toward the bottom. Looking down from midair, you could see a huge 10-meter-long palm that appeared where the windy soul-breaking formation broke and formed a deep depression, which looked like a giant that was heavily patting on the ground had left his print. The moment that Han Sanfu was about to chase Jiang Yuochen and Huang Yanjun, a strong smell of blood suddenly floated in from the distance. Mo Qinglong sniffed the air and said in confusion, Where is this blood smell coming from? Just then, a bloody cloud gathered in the distance and quickly sped to 100 meters away, above the heresy prisoners. Within the blood cloud stood a bloody, but beautiful, woman. She had crimson eyes, a gown covered in blood, and a golden glow floating above her head. As she slightly moved her lips, two long fangs were revealed. After absorbing your blood, I should be able to reach the heaven realm, Lu Han said remorselessly. Mo Qinglong's face changed. Is she the blood-sucking monster? I'm not a monster, I am a half-saint. A strident roar came from Lu Han's mouth as she careened into the prisoners and gripped Mo Qinglong's neck and bit it. Homp, homp. Bearing the pain from his neck, Mo Qinglong pulled out a pair of swords and stabbed toward both Lu Han's abdomen and neck at once. Bang, bang. A layer of a golden halo shimmered on Lu Han's abdomen and neck, emitting a circle of saint power ripples, which easily blocked Mo Qinglong's double swords. It was the half-saint's light that defended her body, which was more mighty than Mo Qinglong's power. Mo Qinglong counterattacked on and on, but it did not have any effect. He simply could not touch a single hair on Lu Han. It did not take long before Mo Qinglong's arms finally drooped down. Then, he stayed still and his body became withered. The blood in his body was sucked dry by Lu Han and he turned into a dried corpse. The prisoners of the moon worship demonic sect were nearly scared to death upon seeing this. It sent a chill up Han Sanfu's spine. He stared in surprise at this pretty woman with the long tusks. Mo Qinglong had been sucked dry, leaving behind only skin and bones, before Han Sanfu could even help him. Holding Huang Yanqin's slender waist in his arms, Zhang Yuochen constantly injected his genuine qi into the wings of wind and fled toward the distance quickly. Her body was soft and emitting a faint fragrance. If the disciples of the school of the martial market could see this now, they would be crazily jealous of it. Utilizing the wings of wind, Zhang Yuochen and Huang Yanqin soon flew to the gate of the Qikong secret mansion and landed back on the ground. It's strange. Why didn't he catch up to us with his strong cultivation? Huang Yanqin's face grew solemn. Is that man Han Sanfu? Asked Zhang Yuochen. Huang Yanqin nodded and said, in the entire 36 commanderies of Omen Ridge, only Han Sanfu has practiced the spiritual ruin palm. He has a special status in the moon worship demonic sect and used to be the heresy chief of the moon commandery with a great reputation. Zhang Yuochen said, if he had chased us, we wouldn't have been able to escape, even with the help of the wings of wind, unless he encountered some big trouble and had no energy left to deal with us. Zhang Yuochen had intended to collect half-saint's light from Lu Han. However, those runaways from Black Market and Moon Worship demonic sect disrupted his plan. Staying in the Qikong secret mansion might make them the targets of the prisoners of Black Market and Moon Worship demonic sect. Why haven't you let me go? Huang Yanqin gazed coldly at Zhang Yuochen. Zhang Yuochen found himself still holding Huang Yanqin in his arms. He had been thinking about the threat of the heresy prisoners and totally forgot that they had returned back to the ground. He immediately let go of Huang Yanqin and said without embarrassment, we must leave the Qikong secret mansion as soon as possible because it is too dangerous. The moment that they walked out through the gate, they saw Ziqian, who was carrying her sword, along with Duanmuk Singling and Blackie. Standing opposite them was the vixen of the moon worship demonic sect. She was a one-eyed woman with a metal sheet covering the other eye, and her face was grisly with scars. Her name was Qin Mu, a top master of heresy, with a cultivation that reached the dawn state of the earth realm. Qin Mu had been hunting Ziqian down, but outside of the Qikong secret mansion, she had gotten blocked by Duanmuk Singling and Blackie. They had been confronting each other for a long time before Zhang Yuochen and Huang Yanqin arrived. Duanmuk Singling smiled to Qin Mu who was standing opposite, and said, Qin Mu, although your cultivation has reached the dawn state of the earth realm, you've been detained at the Qikong secret mansion for 6 years. How much of your strength still remains? If I were you, I would have escaped. Qin Mu looked at Duanmuk Singling and the big black cat, then shifted toward Huang Yanqin and Zhang Yuochen. If Qin Mu fought with any one of them alone, they would not resist 3 of her strikes. However, each of them possessed genuine martial arms, so she was not certain that she could defeat them. Qin Mu clenched her teeth and glared at Zhang Yuochen, saying, how did you escape from Han Sanfu's grip? In fact, Zhang Yuochen did not intend to be an enemy of a stronger warrior who had reached the dawn state of the Earth realm either. All of them were probably still no match for Qin Mu. Zhang Yuochen said, "They must have encountered big trouble. You'd better go back and give them a hand." Qin Mu did not doubt Zhang Yuochen's words because Zhang Yuochen and Huang Yanjun should not have escaped from Han Sanfu unless he had come across other stronger warriors. Clash. Qin Mu dashed out from the gate of the Qikong secret mansion and disappeared in the hazy misty of miasma. Looking at Qin Mu's departure, Juan Muxingling's eyes revealed a hint of amazement. Then, she walked over to Zhang Yuochen and grinned. "What happened to those heresy prisoners?" Zhang Yuochen shook his head and said, "I don't know. But there are only three possibilities. First, prisoners of black market. Second, the underground savage beast. Third, that blood-sucking monster. I think that they would most likely encounter the last one." "Why?" asked Juan Muxingling. Zhang Yuochen answered, "That blood-sucking monster can smell human beings and savage beasts' breath. The more people that gather together, the stronger the breath will be, which easily attracts her. No matter what, we must leave the Qikong secret mansion right now," said Huang Yanjun solemnly. Zhang Yuochen, Huang Yanjun, Juan Muxingling, Blackie, and Ziqian escaped at high speed from the underground to the ground again. Meanwhile, the Qikong secret mansion was another story. More than 70 heresy masters died and turned into dry corpses, except for the runaway, Han Sanfu. After sucking the blood of those heresy masters, Lu Han finally reached the heaven realm. Her black hair completely turned red as her body emitted glaring blood lights. She walked toward the Qikong secret mansion step by step,